All right, good evening, everybody. All seven of us here in the home audience. Welcome to everyone on the live stream who's tuned in around the country. My name is Rob van der Bijl. I'm one of the executives here at DuePoint. I'm going to be spending the next 60 minutes with you. We're going to go through what DuePoint's all about, who we are, and after the presentation, you're welcome to come speak to me, ask me any questions that you might have. All right, so let's begin. As you can see, DuePoint's a division of Constantia Insurance Company Limited. Constantia is a registered insurance company. We've been around for nearly 7 decades. We were founded in 1952. That's our building in Randburg. So Constantia's head office is just down the road here, our little orange logo that we operate under. The FSP number that we use is that one that you see over there. That's very important. That's our FSP license. So you'll see in the foyer above the water cooler, we've got all these certificates up on the wall. Those are FSB licenses. We've got a long and short-term insurance license. We've got our FSP license. We've got our investment license. We've got our accreditation with the direct and the direct marketing and the direct selling association. So go take a look at those. Those are our proof of credibility. It is important that you trust the business that we're going to be speaking about. So you're welcome to go do a background check on us. You can Google us. You can go look at our websites. You can go check us on Hello Peter, see if there's any complaints against us that you don't like. But it's very important that you trust the business going forward. So we take credibility very seriously here at DuePoint. We want you to trust the business that we're going to be discussing this evening. The individuals, the senior management and the executives are these people you see up on screen. The 3 people on the far left are all registered chartered accountants in South Africa, starting with Brendan Benfield. He's our senior executive. He heads up this division. He's got a lot of experience in financial services, particularly in insurance, because his whole family are entrenched in insurance. His father started Clientele Life in the IFA. They've started a host of businesses around the world. Brendan and his brother Stuart, along with their father and some other shareholders, started Prime Meridian Direct, PMD, which is now the 4th biggest short-term insurer in the country. So they've had a lot of success in this space. Tim and Stacey, they head up our auditing, the regulatory, and the accounting aspects of our business. Tim is very experienced in corporate banking. He was with the First Rand Group for about 15 years, very senior position there. Stacey was with Deloitte all her working career. She worked here as well as overseas in Luxembourg before she came back to South Africa and joined the team. So those are the boring accountants. Then the more interesting non-accountants are these 2 people over here, starting with Jane, who you saw here this evening. Jane is very experienced in direct marketing and direct selling. She's actually from the UK. You probably notice if you heard her accent. She's from York. And she brings a lot of international experience with her to our business, because even though we're an insurance company, our growth is very much dependent on our ability to work within the network marketing space. And Jane brings that international experience with her to the team. And then myself, I've been working in marketing and advertising all my career. I worked primarily in the financial space, so I did a lot of work in the financial space with a lot of the big banks. I started my own agency in the mid-90s, ran that fairly successfully. And that's the team. So we've got some client service staff and more admin staff, but our mandate as staff of DuePoint is to support everybody that joins us here at DuePoint. We want to see you profitable. We want to see you effective in this business, because it's in our interest. As a business, we can only be profitable if the people that join us in this business are being effective. And so we do everything to support you in that endeavor. So that's a little bit of background on us and the business. Why are we here this evening? So you've made it out. I'm sure traffic was terrible. Was traffic bad? Right? It's raining in Joburg. For those people that aren't in Johannesburg, raining in Joburg. And when it rains in Joburg, the traffic becomes horrendous. But I'm glad that you made it out to our head office anyway. And the question we ask here is, why are people interested in this entrepreneurial venture? And we kind of very briefly discuss the circumstances that we face as average South Africans. So they are unfortunately all negative. They are detractors to typically our personal finance situation. So we see it in the form of the economy. The economy plays out in the form of unemployment, 10 million people unemployed. We see it in the fact of high interest rates, high inflation, astronomical food inflation. We see it in the fact that people's salaries aren't keeping up with the cost of living. Right? So you can feel that yourself, or you can tell that yourself. I often ask the audience, when this room is full on a Saturday typically, I'll ask all 150 people, I say, the person whose salary has gone up 5% to 7% every year for the last 7 years, put your hand up. No one puts their hand up. No one, not even 5 to 7% increase a year for the last 7 years. Our salaries are falling behind with what the cost of living, with what inflation is increasing by. We try to remedy the situation, unfortunately, using debt. You see the 4-letter word up there, right? Appropriately a 4-letter word. And we are often criticized as an economy, as a country, in that we engage too much in debt instruments and not enough in savings and investment products. But when you're faced with the economy that you're faced with, sometimes you don't really have that choice, right? If your salary is not keeping up with your cost of living, what choice do we have other than to engage in debt, to try future finance our position? Unfortunately, it creates an exacerbating effect with regards to our personal finance, because what's going to happen is you're not going to be able to keep up with what your debt repayments are. And we see it already in the statistics that we get from the FSB. We see the growing number of people that are defaulting on debt repayments, right? The figure is now sitting at 50% of people that have debt in South Africa are defaulting. It's a terrible, terrible situation, and it becomes even more exacerbated. By the time we get to retirement, you're going to be asking yourself the question, what have I done for the last 40 to 45 years to put myself in a position where I can retire? And only 2% of the population can say I've done enough. The rest of us, the 98% of us, are going to be in a position where we haven't done enough. We haven't saved, we haven't engaged in savings or investment products. We're going to be in a position where we have to either carry on working, you're going to be retired, you're going to go out and look for a job again, with the 10 million people that are also looking for jobs. You're going to become dependent on your children, on other family members. You have to downgrade your lifestyle to such a degree that you can survive on whatever you've got once you're retired. And this presentation really is the opportunity to remove yourself from the 98% and put yourself into the 2%, to take control over your income for the first time. Because we can carry on blaming our company, our employer, and the economy and politicians forever. It's not going to change our circumstance. We have to take control of our circumstance. And that's what's on offer at the moment. Out of all of this negativity, we as a business saw an opportunity to create a system that allowed the average South African to engage in and to change their circumstance. Right? With 3 aspirations in mind. First aspiration is to see people in this business become debt-free. It is our number one, our foremost goal in this business, is to see people empower themselves so that they can pay their debt off as quickly as possible. Because we all have debt, right? Everyone indebted? Like, everyone's got debt, right? And it was something that I came to terms with when I think, once I got out of school, I started working. I didn't realize, I just took it for granted that I would be forever indebted. Whether it was a credit card or overdraft or owing money on the house that you bonded, debt was something that always existed for me. Never did I aspire to paying my debt off as quickly as possible and becoming debt-free. But let me tell you this, our second aspiration in this business is for the people in this business to start creating wealth for themselves. Can you start creating wealth for yourself if you owe other people money? You cannot. So your first goal, become debt-free, completely debt-free. It empowers you into the position where you can start creating wealth. And that's in the form of creating investments, building value in assets that you own, right? And then the third aspiration happens automatically, because when you're debt-free and you're only creating value in assets that you own, the third aspiration is just to be happier at the end of the month. Everyone paid their salaries? No? We're a month in. Did you get your salary? How many SMSs did you get after your salary was paid? Those debit order SMSs, how many? Too many, right? It's always too many. You're always praying, oh, please let there be money left over before the SMSs finish, right? We want to change that for you. We want you to be happy at the end of the month. Imagine you get your salary paid into your account, DuePoint pays you at the end of the month, and that's it. That money just stays there. What are you going to do with that money, right? That's what we want for the people in this business. It's about empowering people, liberating people financially. You get to join DuePoint. So our guests this evening, you have the opportunity to join DuePoint. When you join us, you actually contract with us, and once you contract with us, we call you wealth engineers. And as wealth engineers, you only need to do one thing. That is to go out and build what we call channels of distribution. And I'll show you what a channel of distribution looks like. Through these channels of distribution, which is really you just introducing people to us, our online platform will facilitate the sale of products to those people. And that's basically how this entire business works. Summed up in 2 sentences. The benefit for you is that you get to create an additional income stream. The income that you produce here is one of recurring income, right? Some people refer to this as passive income. My father calls it making money while you're sleeping. Can you imagine making money while you're sleeping? Did you even know it was possible? I didn't think it was possible. I realized only later when I started working for myself that I wasn't earning money while I was sleeping. My father told me when I was 12 years old, get into business that makes money while you sleep. You want to be rich? That's the business you need to get into. And I started this business that I ran for 15 years, and never did we make money while we slept. It only made money when we were working. And when all my staff went on holiday in December, what happened? I still had to pay them a salary at the end of the month, right? And so I got out of the business. I walked away from that company. I gave my shares to my partner. I said, I don't want anything for my shares. Walked away. 15 years of my life for nothing, really. Maybe some education. I tell myself, education. I paid, it was my school fees that I paid for 15 years, right? For the next 20 years, I'm going to do things differently. I'm going to focus on creating recurring income. And this is what you get to do in this business. You get to harness the power of duplication. This is leverage. When you go out and build channels of distribution, this is your ability, your opportunity to go out and find other like-minded people to join you in this endeavor. They will collaborate with you. And when you have people collaborating with you, they're going to be collaborating towards increasing your recurring income. Because if you've got limited time, if you only got an hour to spend in this business a day, but you find 20 other people also contributing an hour every day into this business, it's going to be 21 hours now being invested into your business on a daily basis. So we use leverage. We use the power of duplication in this business. The business is flexi time. It's the luxury of you being able to decide when to do this business. So you get to decide what that looks like. But let me warn you, if you want to be successful in this business has to become a priority. Otherwise, you'll just treat it like a hobby, like a New Year's resolution. You'll do it when you feel like it. See, that's the unfortunate word. Flexi time sounds like you get to do it when you feel like it. But people that are successful don't do things when they feel like it. You've got to do it when you don't feel like it. Right? So I'm hoping at the end of this presentation, if DuePoint is something you're interested in, you will at the same time decide when you're going to do the business regularly. Is it every Tuesday night? Is it every night in the week? Is it the whole weekend? Is it in the mornings? Decide what that looks like and try to stay accountable to that. There's no startup capital. There's no registration fees. We don't ask you to buy boxes of product to go home with. So we make this business as risk-free as possible. There's no qualifications or experience required. Did everyone bring their CVs this evening? Did you leave your CV on the table with Jane so I can look at it? Fortunately, I'm not interested in your CVs. This business is accessible to everybody. At the same time, you don't have to worry about the FSB regulation that we abide by. We look after that. We take care of that. You guys can still enjoy the upside of being involved in financial services without the worry of all that FSB regulation. You get to build an asset. Now, this is probably one of the most important benefits on the slide, because opposite to employment, where you will spend 40 to 45 years building someone else's asset. Do you realize that? That's what employment is all about. Working for someone else, building their asset. In this business, the time you spend investing time into building your channel of distribution is something that you have ownership over. This channel of distribution is in your name. You have legal tender over it. It means you're building an asset that you own. It means you can sell it one day. It means you can give it to your children. It will probably survive you, right? That value will not disappear. It remains in your name. So you should be happy to sacrifice time into this business. There's no selling involved at all. Who's disappointed that there's no selling involved? Who likes to convince someone to buy something on the weekends? Nobody, right? That's not fun, trying to convince someone to buy something. There's no selling involved. We contract you out of selling. The nature of our products are financial in nature. That again is a great benefit because we don't have the stock and distribution issues. Did you see any vitamins and milkshakes you're going to take home with you tonight? No expiry dates. They don't take up space in your boot. We don't run out of them. You don't have to fight for space in the garage when you get home. And so we make the products as convenient as possible to engage with. But your success in this business is predicated by your ability to go out and build channels of distribution. So this is what a channel of distribution looks like. It begins with you, the wealth engineer in the middle there. You're going to go out and tell people about the business opportunity that exists here at DuePoint. If you're successful in that activity and you can get people to come sit down in a presentation like this and also decide to become wealth engineers and start working with you, collaborating with you in this business, that is the beginning of your channel of distribution, because those 5 people that you introduced will go out and do the same thing. This is where the leverage comes into place, the power of duplication, right? Because if they go out and they do the same thing that you're doing, your channel of distribution can start to grow organically like this. And after a certain amount of time, there will be more people. And next month, there will be more people. And so your channel takes on a life of its own beyond your efforts. My hope is that you will find quality people, people that you can depend on, people that are resourceful, people that are effective. Not just go out and say, who wants to earn money? We've got 10 million unemployed people in South Africa. All 10 million will come to your front door and say, yes, I want to earn money. Right? You have to go out and be very discerning in the people that you bring into your business. Because the more discerning you are, the better quality people you have. That quality will filter down into your entire channel. So my hope is that one day, perhaps 3 to 5 years' time, you will have a sustainable business. Sustainable means quality, something that can survive on its own. And you'll be able to decide that you want to go on 3 months holiday. And DuePoint will pay you every single month while you're on holiday on the beach with your family. And you won't have to worry about your channel of distribution. So that's what a channel of distribution looks like. I'll warn you that this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. Right? So there's 2 sides of that. Some people come in here perhaps with the fear that this business is one of these get-rich-quick schemes. Because there are many of those in South Africa, right? But then I think you get other people that hope it's a get-rich-quick scheme. Who wants to get rich slow? Everyone want to get rich slow here? Right? So Viso's happy to get rich slow. You cannot achieve success quickly in any sphere of life. Any sphere of life. Have you realized this yet? Everything takes hard work. And this business is no different. So I want your outlook for this business to be long-term. I want you to realize that it's going to take hard work. It's going to take determination, passion, belief in the business, right? When all the odds are against you, do you give up or do you persist? This business requires endurance. I'll give you an example. Brand new businesses that start, only 5% survive the first 12 months. 5% in South Africa. That's a frightening statistic, right? Who would want to start a new company if they knew 95% chance of failure? It's only the 5% that endure, that make it. And this business is no different. So when I say to you at the end of this presentation, you want to get involved, you need to hold yourself accountable to being consistent in this business. Okay. So this is our disclaimer slide, our warning slide, because we think business looks like that. Business might look like that on the outside, but that's what business requires behind the scenes, right? So how do you make money in this business? There's 2 ways to earn as a wealth engineer. So one is through our returns program, and the second way is through our rewards program. So our returns program, which we're going to discuss now, is what we pay wealth engineers at the end of every single month. This is your primary focus in this business, is to create this recurring income. So we pay a base return fee of R27.50 for every product that you have in your channel, right? So remember, for example, you went out and brought 5 people into the business. Those people, that product lies on your first point. It is 1 point away from you. And on your first point, we actually pay you double the R27.50. You get paid R55 for every product every single month. Those people go out and find other people to become wealth engineers, and that product lies on your second point. And again, you see the table. It says we pay you R55 on the second point. And then your third point, you see the multiplier drops to 100% again. We're paying you R27.50. To the 4th point, 5th point, 6th point, all the way to the 8th point, you see the multiplier starts to drop steadily. But from the 8th point onwards, we'll keep paying you the 4% of the R27.50. We don't limit you on how large your channel can get at DuePoint. We don't limit you on how much money you can make at DuePoint. We've got wealth engineers, after 18 months, their channels are already close to 30 points wide. 30 points. They get paid all the way to the 30th point, right? So we don't limit you on your earnings here at DuePoint. The next question we get is, well, how much money can you earn in this business after a certain amount of time? So what we did was we built this projection. It's over the next 5 years. We call it the path to success. The path to success has a growth formula, right? So just an example, we say if you can bring 3 people into this business in your first month, and then 2 people every consecutive month. So we fortunately, right at the beginning of December, you got the whole of December, to find 3 people to put onto your first point, and then in January you only have to find 2. February another 2, March just another 2, and you keep finding another 2 into perpetuity. If you can follow this growth formula, you can be expecting to earn about 2,500 rand after 6 months of work. Who wants to leave now? Too much? Too little? Everyone's deadpan. You're waiting for the number to get bigger, right? But let me give you some context, because it's actually a wonderful number to start on. Because I had exactly the same reaction when the accountants came up with this fancy thing. They said, this is the projection. I said, 2,500 rand after 6 months. Who's going to join our business if that's on offer? But then I started to realize something. I think like a consumer, like a spender, right? And I imagine that most of us here think like consumers and spenders. We just had Black Friday, right? Black Friday is so popular. Why? Because everyone thinks like consumers and spenders. We look at 2,500 rand. I give you 2,500 rand. You already know what you're going to spend it on. But if I give it entrepreneur, if I give someone who's focused on building wealth, if I say to them, here's 2,500 rand, they don't take it and go, what am I going to spend it on? They go, how am I going to make this money work for me? This is the paradigm shift that we all need to make. If you are going to carry on living like a consumer, like a spender, you will never build wealth. And this is what I realized. 6 months into this business, earning 2,500 rand, how can it empower you? I'm going to show you how. Because here I have an example of someone who owes R1 million to the bank. They went and found a nice little 60 square meter townhouse here in Bryanston. They asked the bank for R1 million because you don't have the cash. The bank said, sure, here's R1 million. We'll pay for your house, but you're going to pay us back for the next 20 years. Sign this bond document here. You're going to pay us at the current interest rate 11,500 rand a month for 20 years. Right? This is how a bond works. So we all have debt. So this is applicable to all of us because debt works exactly the same way. It doesn't matter whether it's a bond, hire purchase for furniture, buying clothes on hire purchase at Edgar's. It's all the same. After 6 months of joining DuePoint with some success, I'm earning 2,500 rand. And I remember Rob saying, our first aspiration at DuePoint is to pay your debt off faster. So instead of buying a nice pair of new Nikes every month, I decided to do a boring thing of paying my debt off a little faster. So I say, okay, I'll take the 2,500 rand, I'll put it into my bond. Right? So now instead of paying 11,500 to the bank every month, I'm just paying 14,000 to the bank every month. It reduces my bond term from 20 years to nearly half. 11 and a half years. I'm 40, so if I engage in the bond today, I'll make my last payment typically when I'm 60. The day I retire, I've just finished paying my house off. But if I pay my debt off a little faster, I can pay the house off when I'm 51. Do you know how much money that saves me in repayments back to the bank? It saves me the equivalent of 1 million rand. Imagine saving 1 million rand, right? It empowers me that I now have this 14,000 rand a month. I've finished paying the house off. I can now start contributing to a retirement savings for the next 8.5 years. But it required that decision. At 12 months, I could be earning in excess of 100,000 rand a month, 100,000 rand a year, right? An annual recurring income. Who would like a 100,000 rand check for Christmas every year? Yes, please. You guys don't need to. I'll stand in front. Right? 12 months away. 3 plus 2. Remember, you're doing 2 people every month. After 24 months, you're close to 30,000 rand a month. 360,000 rand a year in recurring income. After 36 months, you're close to 50,000 rand a month. You want to look at the bond example? Here's a 5 million rand bond, right? Because you're a high flyer now. At the 30-month mark, you're earning 36,000 rand a month from DuePoint. You have the choice. For 36,000 Rand a month, you can buy a brand new Porsche 911. Or you can pay your bond off faster. Which one? You're all lying. You take the Porsche. I know you take the Porsche. You take the Porsche, right? How can your friends know you're wealthy if you're paying the bond off faster? They only know you're doing well if you're driving the Porsche, right? But if you do decide to do that boring yet mature thing of putting that money into your bond, you'll pay a 5 million Rand house off in less than 7 years. So I'm 40. At the age of 47, I pay my first house off. Rob said, pay your debt off. What do I do after I pay my debt off? Start creating wealth. So I decide to start investing in property. I buy a second house for 5 million Rand. I pay that off in less than 7 years. I'm now 54, I own 2 houses. At the age of 61, I've just paid off my third 5 million Rand house. Brendan retrenches me. He says he's tired of me giving presentations at DuePoint, right? Called retirement. I go home. I'm living in a 5 million Rand paid off house. I'm renting out 2 other houses to the value of 5 million Rand each. That's bringing in rental income of about 60,000, 70,000 Rand a month, plus what DuePoint's paying me in 21 years' time. That's the retirement that we want you to start imagining for yourself. You have to imagine it first to create vision for yourself. You need vision to motivate you with the strategy to get there. After 48 months, we're nearly 70,000 Rand a month. After 60 months, 5 years, short 5 years away, 1 million Rand in annual recurring income. Think about what you were doing 5 years ago. You're probably earning the same you're earning now, right? How much has your salary changed in the last 5 years? You could be earning an extra close to 100,000 Rand a month in 5 years from now. But it requires that commitment and the accountability of every month bringing 2 people into this business every month. You can do less than that because 3 plus 2 is only an example. It's just an example we came up with to show you. This is all theory. It's academic. You can be the people that don't keep themselves accountable. We've got a large percentage of people like that. 80% of the people that join this business, before 3 months is even over, we don't see them again. Get excited. So easy to get excited. On the other side of it, you can do more than 3 plus 2. If you think 2,500 Rand is too slow for you, guess who makes the decision to get there faster or to make more? You guys get to make the decision, right? And so we showcase wealth engineers that have shown commitment to this business, that have shown success in this business. So here's Nick and Shani. They joined, what's that, probably about 14 months ago. 14 months later, they're earning 4,000 Rand a month, right? It was 2.5 after 6 months with 3 plus 2 and 9,000 after a year. So they're doing a little bit less than 3 plus 2, but they haven't quit. To earn 5,000 Rand a month in interest from a bank account, guess how much money you need in that bank account? You need 1 million Rand sitting in the bank account. They've created for themselves 1 million Rand. You want to save 1 million Rand? I'll give you the formula to save 1 million Rand. Anyone under the age of 25 here? You two ladies. You two ladies start saving 800 Rand a month. You put 800 Rand a month away for the next 40 years. By the time you get to 60, you'll have 1 million Rand in the bank. Or you can do some extra work for the next year and create the equivalent of having 1 million Rand in your bank account in the space of 12 months. Do you understand? We don't think like that because we think like consumers, right? No one knows the value of money, the true value of money. We think the value of money is equal to what you can buy at the shops. We have to start thinking differently about money. Jack Delama from Mpumalanga, he joined at the beginning of the year. He's already at over 8,000 a month. Don Landon from PE. I didn't even know people in PE had money. 11,000. He joined also at the end of the year. But if we look at his business, if I go back to June, he only started doing work in June. In 2 months, he went to 4,000 Rand a month. Everyone is different. Every single person is different. You need to run your own race, right? You can't look at some people and go, that's exactly what I want. Run your own race. We each got different personal situations. You need to understand what you can commit to this business. Motletsona from the Free State, my hometown. In the last month, she's doubled this. This is a number we pulled in the middle of November. In the last 30 days, she's doubled this number. Unbelievable, right? Committed, belief, and hard work. Guys, you each run your own race. Decide what you want out of this business and strategize to get there. We've got thousands of wealth engineers joining this business every single month. Each person running their own race, but earning an income over and above their salaries. Doing something extra to get something extra. So this is our returns program. This is what we pay wealth engineers at the end of every single month. I told you there was a second way to earn at DuePoint, and that's through our rewards program. So our rewards program works like this. It's called the XP Rewards Program. When you start engaging in typical activities for wealth engineers, like coming to presentations, bringing guests with you, logging into the dashboard, coming to training, doing all kinds of things, right? See all these little things floating here. These are all the tasks that you can engage in. When you engage in these tasks, we give you something called XP. It stands for experience points. So you can see there, 1,000 XP for every person, every guest that you bring with you to head office. And when you start collecting all this XP and your channel starts to grow, we reward you along the way. So you can see it as an incentive program. But for us, it's a culture training building program, right? So if you start out as a wealth engineer, you start out as a rank 0 wealth engineer. Not even on the slide. Can you see you're not on the slide because you're not important to us? Anyone can join the business. We're not interested in people who join the business. We're interested in people that do the business. So you start doing the business. You need 1,000 XP and you need 4 products in your qualified channel, and boom, you suddenly become rank 1, and at rank 1, we give you an extra 55 Rand reward at the end of the month. Right? So this is over and above the returns. And as you start collecting more XP and your channel starts to grow, you start to rank up. And as you rank up, the rewards get bigger and better. 1,500 Rand, 20,000 Rand, 50,000 Rand. We give tools to our wealth engineers along the way that help them build their channels more effectively. So here at rank 5, Patrick and Pumi at rank 5 last year, they got this little USB drive. See that little white USB drive? It's a fancy little device because it plugs into anything. That plugs into anything. It plugs into any cell phone, any tablet, computers, laptops, TVs. Apple, Android, banana, it doesn't matter what device you have. The beauty of that is that all our video collateral is on that device. Patrick and Pumi can show people the DuePoint opportunity regardless of what device they have with them. At rank 7, we get these premium business cards manufactured. In 20 years of advertising, I've never seen anyone with business cards like this. They are 4 times the thickness of a normal business card. There's no ink on these business cards. The logo and the edges are gilded in gold. Why would we spend 12,500 Rand on a set of business cards for our wealth engineers? Because this business is very much reliant on first impressions and credibility. When I come up to someone and I say, I've got a wonderful business opportunity for you called DuePoint, you're going to be like, who's DuePoint? Right? But when I pull out a 12,500 Rand business card that's 50 times more expensive than the business card you have in your wallet, guess whose credibility goes up? My credibility goes up. That person will suddenly give you a lot more time to explain what DuePoint's all about and how you get a business card that costs 12,500 Rand. At rank 9, which is around the corner for us this year, we take our rank 9 wealth engineers and their families, business class flights, to a 5-star luxury resort for 7 days, all expenses paid trip, not once, every single year. You get to enjoy this once you rank 9. So take a look at where we're going. This is happening in 21 days. We're taking all the rank 9s with us to Turtle Bay, Western in Mauritius. And this is footage from the actual resort.
Has gone and all of the paths you've drawn have sunk to the ocean sun where no one can see. You stand on at the dark embrace, cower the dreams you chase under the rust and blood. Don't let yourself give up.
So that's on offer to everybody in the room. You're not going to come with us this year, but maybe next year you come with us. You've got 13 months to get to rank 9. The record is 5 months. So you can do it in half the time if you really want to. At rank 11, we spend R250,000 buying a brand new car for our wealth engineers and giving it to them. So that's already happened in our parking lot. How much closer are you to becoming debt-free when the car you're driving around doesn't have a debit order at the end of the month? When you go on an overseas holiday every single year, business class with your kids and your spouse paid for. This is rank 11. You saw the program. If you looked at the bottom of the table, it goes up to rank 20. We've already designed up to rank 28. Right? We've mapped out the next 25 years in this business. Depends on whether you've made the decision whether you want to be there for the next 25 years or you're going to be one of the people that are here for the next 3 months. We've got a third way to benefit as a wealth engineer, and that's through our Wealth Quest. So Wealth Quest is something that we do once a month or every month. It runs from the first of the month to the last of the month. It is a challenge that we issue to our wealth engineers. And this month, it's called Outshine Santa, and we challenge you to bring in 6 new wealth engineers on your first point and to get 2 of them qualified. And if you can do that in the month of December, you'll have 100 gigs of data given to you for the next year. That's all your data taken care of for the next year. This is a data-intensive business. Right? Everything that we do happens online, digitally. Your cell phone becomes your business tool here at DuePoint. So that's the third way to benefit. We get asked, how does DuePoint afford all of these returns and rewards? Traditional insurance companies, so like PMD down the road, spend a lot of money on client acquisition. They do it in the form of marketing and advertising. So on a daily basis, they're advertising on the TV stations, on radio stations. They've got billboard ads all over Joburg, all over the country. At DuePoint, we don't do any advertising. You won't see a DuePoint logo outside of our building. Why? Because we rely on our wealth engineers to go tell people about DuePoint. We don't rely on marketing and advertising. And so we don't need to spend the billions on marketing and advertising that traditional insurance companies spend. We can take that portion of our payments and attribute it to our returns and rewards program to the benefit of our wealth engineers. And that's basically how our business model works here at DuePoint. We have 3 products. So our products are all financial, their benefit is financial in nature. 2 financial products and one's a retail product. So the first product is called the Access Wealth Plan. It is actually broken up into 2 separate products. So for 299 Rand a month, 100 Rand will get invested into a tax-free investment fund that sits with Sanlam. Sanlam's the biggest investment house in the country. It's a no restriction, no delay investment, so you can draw your investment out at any stage. You don't have to wait 30 days, you don't have to give 60 days notice or 90 days. You've got full access to this investment. On top of that, we give you some personal accident cover to the value of 110,000 Rand, right? So that's the insurance portion of the Access Wealth Plan. So for example, if you have this Access Wealth Plan, you're killed, for example, in a car accident, we'll pay out your beneficiaries 110,000 Rand plus whatever's in the investment. The second product is called Wealth Guard. Wealth Guard is it's purely an insurance product. For 274 Rand a month, you get 1.1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover, right? The beauty of our personal accident cover in Wealth Guard and Access Wealth is that it's accessible to anyone over the age of 18, because it's not like life insurance, not like funeral cover. We're not profiling you from a health risk point of view. So anyone over the age of 18, you can be 70 years old, you can be diabetic, you can have cancer, you can still take out this product. The premium remains the same, and the amount of cover that you receive remains the same. The third product is called the Wealth Points Buyers Club program. Wealth Points aims to save you money on the money you're spending every month anyway. So we've got a whole bunch of partners here that we've negotiated discounts with. For 274 Rand a month, you get to enjoy those discounts, right? So we've got Always on Wi-Fi data, 36 Rand for 1 gig of data. We've got the entertainer, Eagle Ford. You're looking to buy a car, you get the best price on cars through Eagle Ford. Not only Fords, any car. We've got retailers, ShopRite, Checkers, Takealot, Yuppie Chef, Hirsch's. Right? How much money do we spend on groceries every month? You get to partake in discounts through this product. So if you're looking for immediate benefit out of any of the products, Wealth Points is an awesome product to take. We are adding new partners to this list all the time. So those are the products. They have been designed to be straightforward and simple. If you have any questions, come speak to me. There's more information on the website. There's in-depth information on YouTube in the form of videos if you want to look at more information around each of the products. So what is the decision that we faced with this evening? I think the decision is very simple. The decision really is, and Elon Musk actually summed this up. He said everyone looks at entrepreneurship and goes, oh, it looks great, right? Entrepreneurs, very fancy, very romantic notion. He says, but to be an entrepreneur, you have to be able to endure the downside of entrepreneurship. What's the downside of entrepreneurship? Time sacrifice, endurance. We deal with people in this business. People are unreliable generally, right? They say one thing, they do something else. Very frustrating to deal with people constantly. Are you able to endure that, or do you get frustrated and give up? So that's why I say that. Decision is very simple. Are you able to endure the downside of entrepreneurship to enjoy the upside? The upside is the returns, the rewards program. Rank 9, going on a holiday forever, for the rest of your life with your family, overseas, business class trips, getting a car that you didn't have to pay for, creating income for yourself. 100,000 Rand after 5 years, every month, over and above your salary. That financial liberation, that's what's on offer. But it doesn't come without the downside. And the decision is, are you willing to put up with that downside? Joining is very straightforward. Read our code of conduct. It is our contract with you that defines what you can and cannot do as wealth engineers. And then jump onto our website, www.DuePoint.net, click on the blue apply button. You become a wealth engineer in about 7 minutes. Suddenly you're part of the rank 0 club, right? Very quickly move out of that rank 0 club. Look at our online training. We've got 500 videos on YouTube. 500. That's a lot of viewing, right? Fortunately, we categorize everything very neatly. You only have to watch 7 videos, which form part of our basic series. Set goals for yourself. Like I said, everyone needs to run their own race in this business. What are your goals? Do you want 2,500 Rand and you're happy with 2,500 Rand, you don't need more? Is it 10,000 Rand a month? Is it 100,000 Rand a month? Come up with a goal, but you have to strategize. You have to have a plan in place to get to the goal. You can't just have a goal, because that's just imagination, right? Set the goal, figure a way out. We've got enough training that will help you figure the way to get to that goal. And then the simple task of speaking to people. Don Landon, one of the wealth engineers, summed it up very nicely. He said, this business is extremely simple, right? I joked. I asked any of you if you brought your CVs this evening, right? You don't have to have a degree. I don't care about your CV. Anyone can join this business. And he said, it's that simple. The business is that simple. All you have to do is speak to people. But the trick is, if you're not speaking to someone every day, you're not doing this business. That's the trick. Can you speak to someone every day? We've got merchandise. It's not a profit center for us. We designed the merchandise because we thought it would empower you to build your channels of distribution. So we've got business cards. Please consider getting business cards. We've got a deadline on business cards. By the end of this week, that's the limit for business cards this month. We send those in for printing. You're going to have to wait probably till the end of January to get business cards if you don't order them now. Consider the business cards. These are tools of business. These are tools of credibility. If you go to someone and say, I've got a great business proposition for you. It's called DuePoint. And they go, oh, it sounds wonderful. Can I get your contact details? Yeah, let me just tear this piece of paper off on the corner of my page. I'll write my number here for you. Guys, your credibility just drops to the floor. It drops to the floor. Get business cards. When you get to rank 7, you can get the expensive fancy ones, but now you pay for the vanilla white ones. Very convenient. All our videos on the USB stick. You can plug them into TVs nowadays, right? Those little pins in the top left corner represent people that are rank 1 and higher. If you get to rank 1, you buy one of those pins and you wear it. Because it tells people that you know how to do this business. Because guess what? The activity at rank 1 is the same as the activity at rank 9. If you can get to rank 1, you've just proven to yourself that you can get to rank 28. Because the activity remains the same of just speaking to people, right? So wear it with pride. Power bank for your phone so that your phone never runs out of juice. Because your phone is your primary tool of business. So consider the merchandise all on display in the cabinet. The credit card machine's been warmed up. It's waiting for you over there. The pricing's on the counter. Once you become a wealth engineer, subscribe to our YouTube channel. It'll tell you every time we load up a video. It'll tell you every time a live stream is about to begin. A live stream is your opportunity to spread your channel into the rest of the country. We've got people in Northwest, we've got people in Northern Cape, Western Cape, all watching this presentation right now. You can jump your channel into another province overnight without a single expense to yourself because of the live feed that we do. Download the mobile app, and once you download the mobile app, take a selfie. Update your profile photo. We give you 1,000 XP the moment you do that. How much XP do you need for rank 1? 1,000 XP. It's a smile away, right? No sunglasses, no funny duck lips. You know how these young people are taking selfies now. Ladies, are you guilty of that? That's a passport photo with a smile. Okay, so subscribe, download the mobile app. Some don'ts. I'm going to highlight things in our code of conduct that you cannot contravene. First of all, it goes without saying that you cannot become a wealth engineer if you don't have the resources to be a wealth engineer. Right? This business isn't a charity business. We are not the solution to all the unemployed people in the country. This business is really targeted at a certain specific person that can empower themselves with the resources they have to empower the rest of the country. So if you cannot afford it, don't become a wealth engineer. You need access to the internet. It's probably one of the only investments that you'll make in this business, and it's going to be primarily into data because everything's on YouTube, everything's online, everything is digital in this business. We don't have brochures, we don't have printed out forms. You need access to transport. If you struggle with transport, you're going to struggle in this business. This is still very much a one-on-one personal relationship business. You're going to be meeting with your team. You're going to be going to head offices. You're going to be visiting people, right? You need access to transport. Don't complete a DuePoint application on behalf of somebody else. This is actually breaking the law. This is fraudulent. If you know anyone in your channel doing that, you need to tell them to stop it immediately. We will cancel you as a wealth engineer immediately if we find out that you're doing it. Only the person becoming the wealth engineer can apply themselves, right? Don't add direct family members. We call this an anti-stacking rule that we have. Unfortunately, there's too much manipulation that happens. So the rule is if you've got someone that lives in the same household as you, they cannot be in your channel, right? So if you've got a child that's already come of age and moved out of house and started their own family, they can be in your channel because they're in a different household. But the rule is if they're in your household, they cannot be in your channel. Don't start your own DuePoint Facebook page. This is actually in contravention of our code of conduct. You're actually also breaking the Phase Act of 2003. You cannot advertise a financial services business that isn't your own. You don't have the FSP license. We've got the FSP license. All you can do is tell people personally about the DuePoint business opportunity. Don't go onto Facebook. Don't go onto Twitter. Don't start your own website. We've got companies that track this for us, and we suspend you immediately. Right? So don't do it. And then don't send a lead wealth engineer unattended. So often we have people coming into the office, I met Fred on Facebook, he sent me here to head office, says you'll take care of me. No, we won't. My job ends here on the stage. Right? That's your responsibility. That's also a note to take care of the people that you're prospecting. These are people that you're bringing into your channel that you are hoping will collaborate and help build your channel of distribution. Take care of them. Look after them. Don't be unattentive. 4th of January, right? We're about to go into holidays. So the 4th of January is the first day back for DuePoint after New Year. Thursday, 4th of January, we're running 2 presentations. One at lunchtime at 12:15, and then we've got a special intro presentation in the evening at 8:30, or 6:30, like this one. But it's going to be just after we've come back from that Mauritius trip. So we're going to have rank 9 wealth engineers that have just been spreading their toes in the sand in Mauritius. They're going to come tell you all about it. So we're going to get rank 9 testimony on this evening. If you want a big evening, make sure you get people to come to this intro presentation or tune into the live stream. So it's going to be a special day on the 4th of January. Then we've got our next year's Converge Awards evening. So this is a very special evening because it happens once a year. It's our inaugural awards evening, and it's only by invitation. So you have to receive an invitation, and the only people that receive invitation to this evening are the people that are rank 4 and above. This should inspire you to get to rank 4 before the end of January, right? Because you will get invited to this evening. Very auspicious evening, black tie event, sit-down dinner, whole lineup for the whole evening, lots of recognition, talks, motivation, really going to gear up those rank 4s and above for the next year. So it should be your motivation to get to rank 4 before the end of January. That's it, guys. I remind you, there's only one person that can design your future, and that's you. So good luck. Make December count. And let's get ready and excited and motivated for 2018. We don't want the next 5 years to be like the last 5 years, right? It starts with change, and only you can make the change. Thank you, guys.